What's up, grinders? Welcome to Grind Like Yogs. Today we will be talking about some of my personal unpopular opinions when it comes to hockey. In this list, I will be talking about 4 of my unpopular opinions. There is much more I could probably get into it in a future video if you guys want. And after every opinion, during every opinion, I will, if I remember to, I will include a poll, see if you agree with my opinion or not. Let's get right into it and start with probably my least common opinion, but it is also shared with another hockey YouTuber known as you already all know him, the hockey guy. And let's just get right into it. I believe Martin Brodeur is not the greatest goaltender of all time. I said it and I don't regret it at all. He's definitely in the top 5 or top 10 for me, but he's not the greatest goaltender for me. I personally think that Patrick Roy or Dominic Hasek are both better than Brodeur, and I think either one of those two as the best goaltender of all time for me. My first piece of evidence, I'm not going to give too much information per opinion. I'm going to try to keep this short. But yeah, so when people think of the New Jersey Devils, what is the first thing you think about? Other than Brodeur, what is the first thing you think about? The defense. New Jersey has always been known to play boring hockey and have a defensive trap in the neutral zone or the back end side. But yeah, they're always known to have a really strong defensive trap, which did not permit as many goal-scoring chances against Brodeur. Of course, I believe Brodeur is one of the greatest puck-moving goaltenders of all time, but yeah, I think that that could also be a toss-up between another goalie who I'll not mention his name right now because that's probably for a future video. But yeah, with that train of thought, I'm going to talk about Brodeur didn't face the most shots ever. So if you look at NHL stats, I found these results on the Hockey Guy's video, and I'm going to borrow them for this video. He on his list, he put a couple goaltenders who faced the most 40 plus shots a night, and Brodeur isn't even in the top 10. Number 1 is Roberto Luongo, because he's played on teams that haven't necessarily had the most success, other than 2011 Canucks. That was a great success, but it did not ultimately end well for the team. But I'm not going to get into that. That's also for another future video that I will be recording later on. But yeah, Luongo faced the most shots. He was a goalie to play the most games where he faced 40 shots or more. That was Luongo, and Brodeur is not even top 10, top 20 on the list. I believe he's in the 30s for that list, and he did not face as many shots as a lot of other goaltenders in the top 10 all-time list. And for that reason, I believe Martin Brodeur is definitely one of the greatest goaltenders of all time, but he's not. For me, he's not the greatest. I believe Patrick Roy or Dominic Hasek is the best. But I'll have to make my mind up eventually on that, because that'll also be another future video. My next opinion was another opinion I share. I don't know if I share for any hockey YouTubers. I think I might, but I'm not sure. But I share with a lot of my friends. I believe that Wayne Gretzky is not the greatest of all time. He's the most dominant player of all time, yes, but greatest player of all time, I don't know. So. And I believe that I'm not gonna name one name for the greatest player of all time. I'm gonna name a couple. I'll name Lemieux. I'm gonna name Lidstrom. I'm gonna name Orr. I'm gonna name Crosby because he's the best player of his generation. And I'm gonna name a couple. And yeah, but I believe that Gretzky's not the greatest of all time. He's definitely in the top 3. Now probably number 2, but I don't think he's the greatest of all time. He's the most dominant player because he has the most points ever of all time, yes, but also if you look at that era where Gretzky played, the goaltenders weren't the most greatest goaltenders, but there were some good goalies back then, but I'm not saying they're all bad. but most of them weren't as great as some other eras. For example, the Roy era, the Brodeur era. Even nowadays, goaltenders nowadays are a lot better than they were back in the 80s. And yeah, I think he's not the great. He's the most dominant player of all time. Like I mentioned that before, with the most points. He has the most points regular season. I'm not even gonna get into multiple records he owns, but he's the most dominant player of all time, not the greatest player of all time for me. I'll leave it at that for now. My next opinion is in Connor McDavid, as you can see in the image now, and I believe Connor McDavid is not the greatest player today. Earlier I hinted who I believe the greatest player today is, and I stick with that. I think McDavid is going to be the greatest player in a couple years, but I don't think he's that today, because he's played he just finished his 3rd season in the National Hockey League. And 2 of them, he was healthy during 2 of them. The first one, he broke his collarbone, I believe. Not blamed for that, but so that's pretty much half a year there. So he's really played 2.5 years in the NHL, and I don't think he's had enough sample size to show him to being the greatest player in today. He's definitely one of the greats. He's definitely top 3 for me as well for today, but given his short career and short sample size, I don't think he's the greatest yet. He is going to be the greatest, but I don't think he's going to be the greatest yet. Today, the best is obviously, I believe the best is Crosby. I think Crosby is the best forward. I think Carlson's the best defenseman. And goaltenders, I'm not so sure. I'll rank that in another video as well. But, yeah, I guess that's my opinion on Connor McDavid. And my last opinion, I believe a lot of Vancouver Canucks fans will agree with me on this one. I believe a lot of Ottawa Senators fans will also agree with me on this one. I believe that Mark Messier was not the greatest leader and not greatest captain in all of hockey. And I believe that the Messier trophy should be changed to the Daniel Alfredsson trophy. Before going to comments saying, whoa, Alfie didn't win a cup. Messi won, I think, 4 cups he won. Messi was the greatest leader of all time. I'm gonna defend my opinion here. This first thing I'm gonna say is Vancouver Canuck days. I'm not gonna go right into it because I don't really want to trigger the Canucks fans in the community, but his days as a Vancouver Canuck are surely days that the Vancouver Canuck fans want to forget, and surely a lot of days that a lot of hockey fans in particular want to forget. And yeah, I think that he was horrible in his Vancouver days. He was not the greatest leader, and even in his Edmonton days, even in his New York days. I don't know all the teams he's played for. I don't believe he's played for many more teams than that. I didn't really follow the guy personally. I didn't really like him much either. I respect that he's an all-time great, but I'm not really fond of Mark Messier. In the locker room, he's more of a quiet kind of guy. He led by example, but at the same time he did not lead by example. He led by example on the ice. He was great on the ice. He was a great player. But that never really translated into the locker room. Into the locker room, he wasn't really the guy breaking up the fights. A lot of time he was the guy starting it, hence his Vancouver days. I'm not going to get into that though. And now I'm going to say why I think Daniel Alfredsson is the greatest leader of all time. In his entire tenure in Ottawa, Alfredsson has never been the center of any drama at all. To start off, I wasn't alive when Yashin played for Ottawa, or I was too young. But when Yashin was captain, he was a great player, but his leadership just wasn't there. And Alfredsson took that leadership role on and flourished with it. He was drafted in the 6th round. He won the Calder Cup. He won the Rookie year. He was the captain for Ottawa Senators for 14 years, which is not too long ago. I saw a list. I don't remember where I saw it of the longest tenured captains, and Daniel Alfredsson is, I think, top 5. A couple of guys who I remember on that list are Shane Doan, Alfredsson. I can't remember his name. Tampa general manager Iserman, I couldn't remember his name for a second, I'd blank there. But yeah, I think Messier, he captained multiple teams, yes, but he wasn't the leader. He was the face of the franchise, but not a leader. And I'll bring a bold statement here. I think that Brian Jonta was a better leader, a better captain than Marc Messier. Brian Jonta, from what I've really seen of him, I don't think he was ever the elite player, but he was always the guy in the locker room who'd be able to break up fights. He was always the guy in the locker room who could prevent drama. He was always the guy in the locker room who the youngsters would always pick information of and try to be better. He liked helping younger players develop. I'm not saying Messier didn't, but Messier didn't show as much leadership qualities as Brian Jonta or Daniel Alfredson. I'm gonna cut the video to that, and please leave your opinions in the comment below. This list is just subjective. It's my personal opinion. If you disagree, you can. Just don't hate on me too much, okay? That's all for now. Oh, also, I keep forgetting to mention this. Smash the like button if you enjoyed this video. Subscribe if you haven't already. Join the Discord. If I remember, I'll put an info card link to it. It'll also be in the description. I want to thank the hockey guy for the stats I used in this video. I don't think he knows much about me, but yeah. That's live streams should be coming back. I'm recording this on July 17th at 6 o'clock. So I don't know if I'll be live streaming this week. Next week I probably will be, but this week and next week are really busy weeks on my calendar because I will be out of the house a lot the next 2 weeks. And yeah, that's about it. Comment, subscribe, like, follow me on Twitter. I almost never use it, but I should start using that more. Yeah, that's about it. See ya.